That's what our social media caption said after the game today. Italy versus Israel, one of the weirdest World Cup qualifying games you'll ever see. One of the weirdest Italy games you'll ever see. 3 points is 3 points. They don't ask how, they ask what. That's what we're going with today. Adriano, Gianni, I'm Nicholas. You can follow us on all your favorite social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, Instagram, the Calcio Guys, and the Calcio Guys. Adriano, Gianni, how you guys doing?
I was just starting to breathe now. I mean, what else is there to say? I've been pacing back and forth. Thank God my nonna brought these pepperoncinis here. You know how superstitious us Italians are, right? I've been holding them in my hands, in my pockets, pacing up and down all game long. Guys, it's you're in for a treat for tonight's episode. If you have your pepperoncinos, keep them close to you. But yeah, I'm doing good. Johnny, you?
Honestly, I'm okay right now. But let's talk about this for a second. Game time, both times, I was not okay. Why is it? I feel like a qualification game has to feel like an elimination game. Like every freaking time, it's annoying me that we reached this point when it comes to the Azzurri that like even a fucking World Cup qualifier game feels like it's life or death. It's annoying. I want to feel this come round of 16, not World Cup qualifiers, anyways.
That's exactly what I was thinking of today. It was just watching. It's like, it's 3 cycles now where it's just getting to a point, and these games against smaller teams, against smaller nations, it shouldn't be stressful, straight up. Like back in the day, these qualifiers were pretty much practice for the Azzurri on their way to qualification for World Cup. And unfortunately, we've gotten to the point, we've repeated it time and time again. We know we can't take qualification for granted. Apparently, the players haven't learned that yet, because it's still the same song and dance, right? It's, you know what? It started off well, 5-0 against Estonia. We'll talk about that, but recency bias, we got to talk about this 5-4 game against Israel. But guys, it's crazy. If you told me before these 2 matches that Italian players would score 12 goals in these 2 games, I'd be over the moon. I'd be ecstatic. Unfortunately, 2 of those were own goals by Locatelli and Bastoni. 10 goals. It's still great. And unfortunately, what nearly killed Italy today was the thing that for decades was Italy's backbone, and that was defense. And it got us nervous, and they looked so disjointed defensively. I'm going to have to criticize Gattuso for even the subs he made. Bring on Maldini when it was 4-3. Why you bring on a 4? Just throw on another defender. But even the players, how many of the goals just left open Israel players in the box to have free will? It was pretty embarrassing. This is type of the defending you see when you watch TF Montreal games in the MLS.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, look, guys, let's get into it. The first half, I think, is not Italy's strong suit, right? I know Locatelli had the own goal, 16th minute. There was another goal that was waved off for a foul, and I know Keane did score in the 40th, so they did finish the half 1-1. But you could tell it was a bit disjointed the first half.
Yeah, big time. I mean, from the get go, right, like you said, Nick, that I was like, okay, woof, we got away with one with the foul on Donnarumma there, the opening goal there that would have been, I think it was like in the 3rd or 4th minute, if I'm not mistaken. And then it's like, okay, you know what, let's settle in here and let's get forward. And I mean, I had quite a lot to say for the for the own goal. I mean, the Locatelli, it's terrible. It's like it leave it to the Azzurri to make it more difficult than it has to be. It seems like we've had a habit of doing this. For a nation, like I've always said, that has 4 World Cups, historically has been a cultural powerhouse. We're struggling against, and again, no disrespect and no whatever, but like against Israel, guys, like even against Estonia, that first half, if you want to throw that in there, because it was like we kind of spoke off air, Nick, a bit of a wash of a first half. So I think they got away with it in the first game. The 5-0 kind of, it looks good, and I will get more into it as the episode goes on. But just for this opening game, I mean, this opening half for this game, just again not good enough. You go behind, like I said, on the own goal, and you're playing catch up. And you know what? Again, we'll talk about it more, but thank God we have finally something that is or someone, sorry, that is finding the back of the net. Multiple players, which that has been our biggest cry as Azzurri fans for the past how many tournaments since I couldn't even tell you like how long ago it's been. It's been like forever that we've been waiting for a number 9. We've been waiting for goals, and like you said, Nick, and I definitely agree. And I don't know if we'll probably get into it right now, but you know something that's been synonymous with the Azzurri, with the Italian national team, with just the way the Serie is, and just our culture of around Calcio is defensive, right? It's been tactical, it's been defensive, it's been defensively sound. Even in the even in the days where you know maybe some of the cornerstone defenders weren't called up, whatever. The Italians just knew how to defend, and I'm sorry, but it really let us down in these two. Well, in this match, obviously, we didn't get scored on in the first match, but still, it's against Estonia and Israel. And again, no disrespect to these nations, but fuck, guys, if we're Italy and we're struggling against these types of teams, like I could only imagine what happens when we play, a France or a Germany or an England, a Portugal, a Spain, these types of nations. So it's again, I don't know where you want to circle towards in the conversation, guys, but the defense was just terrible. I guess we can maybe start there. You're
Jenny, I
muted,
feel
Joe.
like you're the tactician. You probably saw everything that went wrong on
Well,
Italy's 4 goals against.
well, so I just for
Well, really two,
context,
because those two other one goals, yeah, so
yeah, but they still had to put the ball in the area to generate those own goals, right? I
yeah,
mean,
no, I hear
One,
you.
one thing I'll say about the own goals themselves, just where's the technique? These guys are professional footballers. That's not how you clear a ball. That's not how you stop a ball. Look, I haven't played soccer in almost 10 years. I didn't play at a high level. I know that's not how you stop a ball. I know there's a proper technique to it. These guys know there's a proper technique, especially the Locatelli one. That was awful.
It was
It's a
beyond
slow
terrible.
ball. It's a slow ball. The guy looks like he wants to go lie down for a nap, and the ball ends up the other way. Even the goal that was disallowed, Donnarumma, not good technique, punching it away. It's almost as if it's almost down to mindset, right?
Big time.
Like, are they playing down to Israel's level? Do they think going into this game, oh, it's going to be easy, it's Israel, this and that? And then it gets into their head, and then they kind of forget the basics. I don't know, Jen, you tell me.
so in the defense of these defenders, right? Like I said in the group chat, and shout out to Chris DeSantis for kind of somewhat correcting me in a sense of like formations that they're used to playing, but majority of these players don't play in a 3-man back line. They don't it's not like the years of like when we had the BBC of Barzagli, Bonucci, and Chiellini, that they've always played in the 3-man back line, that they were used to each other and they could function in any type of pivot. Like these guys don't. Mancini, in a sense, where like he has, like under Ranieri, there were moments he was playing with a 4-man back, and then there was times he was playing with a 3-man back. But the only times he would play in a 3-man back was under Ranieri. Besides that, Mancini was playing in a 4-man back line throughout most of his career. Bastoni is the one that we can say out of all of them that has the experience of 3-man back line. Di Lorenzo should not be playing in a 3-man back. He is a 4-man back right back. He is not a 3-man back right back. Like he's not a natural CB that can handle that kind of responsibility.
But they were playing 4 at the back. They were playing 4 at the back.
Yes,
Both
but
games.
It started off as 4, but as you see, it opened up to 3. It like officially was 4. Like I agree with you, Adri. I agree with you, Adri. But as soon as they had possession, it pivoted to a 3, which looked weird to me. Honestly,
Yeah.
It looked absolutely weird to me. But I mean, like, hey, if Gattuso wants to run it that way, let Gattuso run it that way. But like that back line themselves did not seem to be in sync with anything. And that's what I think what the issue is that needs to be solved before the serious competition comes along. Because when you're caught scrambling, especially when your first goal is an own goal, you're caught scrambling. And more often than not, like it's easy to capitalize in chaos. That's how Israel was able to score the goals that they did, because they caught the Italian defense in a disarray. And like, I'm not going to blame Donnarumma on the second goal. That was a well placed shot. The one where
outside just outside the box there.
yeah, well placed shot, nearly point blank. It's hard to save that. It's really hard to save that. So
yeah,
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. The one with the header, it's like he's a bit weird to in, but also that like play went a bit quick. And like who's covering him? I can't remember the name of the player who scored, but who's covering him? It seemed like nobody had anyone. And that's what it came down to. Nobody was talking. Nobody said, I have this guy. Nobody's sticking to a man. That second goal that they scored, Israel, like Locatelli seems like he wants to commit to the guy, but then he lets off. It's as if he's about to commit, then he lets off, and I'm like, why the fuck is this guy letting off? Like, I'm not shitting on Locatelli here. I'm not shitting him just to shit on him. I'm saying, like, why do you mentally want to let off the guy? Like commit to him, put a 2-on-1. You know what I mean? Like, force him to choke up the ball. You know, don't like you're respecting him too much. You know, it's okay to commit. You have guys like and that like I said, it causes a disarray, and I think that's what pretty much cost them this game. Because it seems like offensively there's things that are clicking, and this was basically what Gattuso was with Napoli, that offensively they were good, but their back half of the game was lacking like some depth, you know. So like it helped that you had players like Koulibaly and stuff to kind of mitigate that. But all in all, if you don't have players that are used to this kind of formation, you're gonna put them in positions to lose. So I think that's like they need to work on that. I think, but in his defense, it's Gattuso's second game with the team. He's trying to find something that works, and he's going with what he knows.
And we spoke about it. I think was it last week. You know what formation do we think we're gonna see with him? And I know you brought it up. I think it was last week, Johnny. And we saw multiple, right? We definitely saw multiple facets of his whatever formations he wanted to put out. The first game was more, a 4-2-3-1, kind of a 4-3-3. We saw a bit of the 4-4-2, that weird three back, if you want to say, because I feel like a lot of we had a high line. I think especially in the first game, we had a really high line. We got away with it in terms of, we were able to produce on the other side and still not let anything back. But this game, I think we're still playing a bit of a high line. You kind of have some of these defenders that like to go forward. I know Calafiori didn't get minutes today, but he's a player that likes to go forward as a center back. Bastoni, we know he can do that as well. And even our wing backs, like those guys, they'll shoot forward. So somebody has to kind of fill in the gaps in the back. And if it be a guy like Tonali, if it be a guy like Barella, if it be a guy like Locatelli today, it's so we've seen so far in a small sample size rather, different formations, a bit of different players, obviously. And to be honest with you, I didn't mind the shape of it. I just think the way we committed too much forward, and Gattuso said it in the press conference. I went specifically to watch these press conferences, pre pre-match.
You were studying, huh?
No, I was, because we had a point on that, right, Nick? Back when it was Spalletti, in the Spalletti days, where it was always like this philosophical answer in the press conferences. Everything was always good and nothing, this and that, and it's like I knew I wasn't going to hear that with Gattuso because he's no nonsense, and we all know that. I just wanted to see like what he was going to say, and he even said for the Israel game, before the Israel game, he said it yesterday in the presser. This team is still dangerous. This is they might not be as physical as maybe like an Estonia or those types of nations, but they'll catch you on the counter, and they'll be able to hurt you, and they'll be able to score goals. I mean, was it always a counter-attacking goal that we suffered from today? No, but at the same time, they were dangerous. They attacked us. They put the pressure on us instead of only absorbing our pressure. So he called it, and it's unfortunate that they couldn't put it together in terms of on the pitch, because again, like if it wasn't for this slugfest back and forth any other day, guys, that's a loss.
Yeah, and
that's what hurts.
And I'm happy you brought it up about like strangeness and like different things, like and especially Barella that you brought up. Like Barella today played as a winger, which did not make
Yeah, in the
sense to me.
4-4-2, he was outside. He was left side from Politano, right?
And
Politano was on the right.
yeah, and that's why I made that tweet where I'm like Barella has to always play the strangest and weirdest positions on the national team. Against the Switzerland game, mind you, was due because of injuries and because of a limited what we had on the bench, but you had to
Sure.
put him as a defensive mid in the
Yeah.
Switzerland game in the Euros when we lost 2-0. It's like Barella should be at lowest center mid, at lowest. Besides that, you put him in the offensive half. But anyways, and then you would see him at one point on the right side, but then it was all the way in the bottom left, supporting the D and stuff. Like, he was all over the place because I'm pretty sure Barella himself had no idea what to do. Not like, and but that's the thing about playing under Gattuso, like, because you can see like a player like Di Marco and Barella will be appreciated by Gattuso because even though they're not having the best technical game, these guys are always playing with their heart, and he's always gonna like give them the time and the minutes for it. That's why I think Cambiaso, by the way, if you want to change to a 3-man backline or a 4-man, if you're gonna go towards a 4-man backline, try out Cambiaso on the right. I think Cambiaso is the perfect Gattuso player, but that's just me.
You know what? He's pushing even for DiMarco's spot, if I'm honest, because he's come on, and again, small sample size. I don't want to. We shouldn't be like glazing these players after a performance like today, but he's come on and he's made somewhat of an impact. Is he the most defensively sound? That's the thing, guys. Like
I don't think we're glazing them. I don't think
No,
we're
no, no,
glazing
no.
them. We're
But
just
you know
coming
what I
up with
mean. Like,
ideas. Yeah.
no, you know what I mean. Like, he's come on. He's made an impact. DiMarco in the second game looked a little bit. In my opinion, he looked better in the first game, if I'm honest, than this second game. Both times that he came off and Cambiaso came on, he made an impact. So it's something. And again, that's a good problem to have. Like to have those options to come off the bench. If it be DiMarco in the first half and Cambiaso in the second, or vice versa, you kind of have that flexibility of going towards it. And I mean, I don't know. Even Tonali, man, this guy, they run all game long. Like it's crazy. Like we saw, Barella on the left side with DiMarco. But if you're playing those three midfielders, play the 4-3-3. Like I don't get it. Like you had the three midfielders. You had Barella, Tonali, Locatelli, and you had the three attackers, Keane, Retegui, and Politano. Play the 4-3-3, attack that way. I know we know Politano will do the dirty work if he wants to go up and down, and it shifts to that 4-4-2 like we end up seeing throughout the game. And we know he'll do that dirty work. He works well, obviously, with Di Lorenzo on his right hand side. They play together at Napoli, so that connection's there. But like it just kind of still looked lost. And honestly, it's a shame because it almost felt, and I always hate this, guys, and you know me, playing not to lose rather than going out to win. Like that is my biggest pet peeve with sports in general, especially Calcio, because we see it a lot in football and soccer. So I don't know. Like it was one of these things, and it's crazy because you have a guy like Gattuso, and maybe I'm going to be a bit with the blinders, and I'm going to have a more of a soft spot for Gattuso because I'm such a fan. Like I love Gattuso, but you have a guy like that on the bench that is gonna eat you if you make a mistake, right? And he's gonna really like show all the passion. And again, I don't know. The first half they looked slow. They weren't there. Like Di Lorenzo, I think didn't have a great game today as well. I mean, not many players didn't, but it's just one of these things. And I don't know, Nick. Anything to add? Like,
Well,
what
hold
do
on.
you think?
But before Nick adds, sorry, I have to agree with you there. But it's, just to agree with your point about the fact that Gattuso is not going to accept.
No, he's not.
Like he's not
And
going
he
to
said
accept.
it.
But we see that with the players though. We see the fact
We
that
do.
yeah, I'm sorry. This is the first time I actually started like when especially when Israel scored the second goal,
Yeah.
like up like there was a half a second where I'm like fuck, like a nail in the coffin. But then I'm like after reading afterwards when Moise Keane scored, I'm like, oh fuck, this is a different group.
It
Like the
is. Yeah.
mentality, you could see the mentality is different now. they're definitely they definitely have that grinta, and he's definitely going to reward those players that demonstrate the fact that it's like, okay, enough with these fucking embarrassments for the past like 10 years. Now it's time to change things up. Like, he doesn't like Gattuso's gonna be the kind of coach where he's like, I don't care if we lose in a quarterfinal or a semifinal, but if we go down fighting, that's all I care about. That's the type of manager Gattuso. He's like, he just wants to go down fighting. If you win, fantastic, and if you lose, like, go with, like, at least you could say, you could leave the pitch and say, like, I did everything I could.
Head held high. Yeah, no, I agree. Sorry.
No, I just want to say, like, especially with that tonality goal, like it showed with the team. It showed with the team, like, yeah, no, we're not fucking around. And also, before, just a last little point.
Yeah, go.
First time ever in Italian soccer history that they have scored 5 goals on
two
the
back-to-back games.
No, but on the road for a qualifying game.
And also, it's the first time in the history that they've scored consecutive games with 5 goals. They've never, it's never happened. So things are changing. There is, and I agree with you there. And the players have even said it too. What's the differences with, under Gattuso, this and that, besides, the tactical stuff. He's like, well, he woke us up. The value of the talent was there, but we needed, we needed that kick in the ass a bit. You need a brutal cool a bit. You gotta have that little bit of fire, right? So, and it's shown, because, and I agree again. Sorry to cut you off, Nick. I agree with what you said, Johnny, because post Euros up until maybe this point, we would have probably lost this game. At best tie, and I don't think, and that nail in the coffin comment that you made, we would have been sunk. Like, if we would have been down, we wouldn't have been able to come back and back like 2 or 3 times in a match. At least I don't think so. Like I said, post that little down period, post Euros till, I guess, the end of Spalletti era. So Gattuso, there is a change. Like, don't get me wrong, there is a change. It speaks volumes. The stat that you said, Johnny, 5 goals on the road in a qualifier, 2 back-to-back games consecutively, scoring 5 goals, the first time in Italian national team history. Like, these are big stats that I was going to even say to myself. I was like, and I was going to bring it on tonight if I didn't see that stat earlier. I was like, when the fuck did we ever see 5 goals for Italy? We never see 5 goals. Nope. We want 5 goals. We never see it. Today, this window, we get 2 back-to-back games. So there is some change, but I think there needs to be more. Obviously, that comes in the future.
The reason I put up this jersey is because this is the last time the team scored this many goals, as far as I can remember. The Mancini era, the 2019, the qualifying for the Euros. I just need to pull it up. Because remember, there was games like 9-0 in Palermo when they qualified for Euro 2020.
Or 7-0, whatever. Yeah.
9-1 against Armenia in Palermo, November 2018. They beat Liechtenstein 5-0, but it wasn't back-to-back games. So yeah, that was their best recent qualifying campaign. Okay, mind you, it's the Euros. It was the Euros, but that was the stretch where they win 34, 35, 36, 7 unbeaten, whatever it was. Obviously, capping off with the Euros win. But that's the next point I wanted to bring up. Offense. Look, 10 goals scored. What was it? 2 by Retegui against Estonia. Keane, 1 against Estonia, 2 today against Israel. Raspadori, 1 each. Bastoni, 1 for Italy, 1 against Italy. Politano added the goal. What I really like, though, Retegui, 4 assists, and some of those assists were beautiful, especially the back heel. The back heel to Keane against Estonia did a similar thing today with Raspadori. For me, I really like
Politano.
Politano. For me, I really like the fact that they're playing 2 strikers up top. I know you guys were just talking about formation, this and that.
Yeah.
But they look good together, and it's surprising because these are 2 guys that never played together at the club level, have barely played together at the national team level. And they're 2 guys that I don't know if you could describe Retegui as chip on the shoulder type of guy, but definitely Keane, right?
Yes, 100%.
Absolutely. With all his hype and him going to Fiorentina, proving himself. But you know what? Even Retegui coming in, kind of an unknown, right? Both to the national team and to the Serie. Yeah. Yes, now he got his big contract. He's in Saudi Arabia. But even at the national team level, he has to prove himself, right? You know, one name I even want to throw out, Raspadori as well. Still needs to prove himself. And look, 8 goals now is it 9?
I think
Already
it's 10
passed
now. I
or
think it's
10?
10. Yeah.
10 with the goal today. Already passed Totti with the amount of goals.
No,
Or
nine,
no, sorry, it might be
it's 9
11.
today. No, it's
I
9
think it's
today.
11.
It's 9 today.
He was tied with Totti at 10.
I
No,
thought he was at 8. Remember we were discussing it the
Oh
other
no, he
day.
probably had 8 in 4 years. So it was probably
No, it
8
was
in
10.
4
It was 10. Check the somebody check the message. I'm on my phone. So somebody
Italian
check the message.
national team top scorers. Look, typing it up right now.
Raspadori, 11 goals. 11
Yeah,
goals.
see, I told you. 11 with
Yeah.
today's goal.
Yeah, exactly.
So now he passed Totti.
Yeah, so 11.
Cover
Guys,
your ears.
yeah, look, the all-time score for Italy is at, I think, 35 goals. Like, we're going to see it in our lifetime. Who's it going to
Or
be? We don't know.
Gigi Riva.
Exactly.
No, it's
35 goals, not a lot.
No.
But it's just because over the years, there's never been a consistent goal scorer. Anyways,
Belotti's
Keane.
got 12 goals. That's crazy.
Who?
Belotti.
Oh wow. Wow.
Belotti's got 12. This guy has shifted from an offensive juggernaut to just a defensive forward, and he's got 12.
how many were in that game against Armenia back in 2019? None.
Oh my god.
Anyways, yeah. So yeah, I really like Kane. Like, obviously, I think the fact that he kind of redeemed himself. But I want to see this against, coming up. The next set of games is against Moldova.
Estonia?
Moldova
or no, Israel.
No, it's Israel and Estonia again.
Yeah.
And then Moldova and Norway at the end. So what's important is the consistency, right? It's 2 games. Yeah, but like I said, what I liked is the chemistry, the fluidity between players who never really played together. Even throw in Retegui with Raspadori, Retegui with Politano. Yes, Raspadori and Politano know each other, but Retegui doesn't know the other two as well. Besides the national team, they never played together at the club level. But obviously, you guys think this is something they have to move forward with, the 2 strikers, at least for now. Stay with the hot hand, right? Yeah. Keep it Keane, Retegui. There's no question about it.
Yeah, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Like that's what it is. Like if you're developing a winning formula from this, then keep on. Like it's like I don't think there's much to discuss. I feel like maybe Adrian might feel the same way about me. It's like it's working, great, leave it as is. Like because like if we're getting this crazy offensive production from these two, let's keep. That's always been the biggest bane of our fucking existence, where it's like offensively Italy hasn't been the strongest nation, but like if we can have some kind of offense right now, maybe that's what we need to start heading towards. Maybe that might be the fix to this to the woes of the national team. I know we've always been a team of formation, tactics, and defensive soundness, but in an era where our defense isn't as potent as it used to be, let's look at what we can offer offensively, especially when we have a very strong mid to support them too. Like our midfielders are phenomenal already, so I feel like as if not broken, don't fix it, go keep on keeping on.
Yeah, no, I just to add, I like it too. Don't get me wrong, and again, with the fluidity of formations that can arise in the future, and whatever Gattuso kind of sticks with or changes in game, allows to have the multiple forwards up top. Again, I don't know, did he start with these 2 forwards because he knew he needed results fast? He knew he needed to catch up in the in the goal differential if they really want to try to push for that first, in case Norway slips up somewhere along this way till the end. It's possible. I don't know. The only thing that but worries me a bit is if who comes off the bench, right? Who's that super sub, if you want to say? I know Raspadori has been kind of getting that in his past 2 games, but what's after that? Because if you kind of throw all your I don't know what you want to throw out, all your bullets out, and what do you have on your holster, right? So there, that's the only thing that kind of worries me, in this call up list. With, again, I know Scamacca doesn't really show up for the national team, but again, you lose a guy like Scamacca for these games. Congratulations to Pio Esposito, who got his debut in the game against Estonia there. He looks like an interesting, obviously, profile that I think it would be nice to kind of get him more acclimated. But then again, like, who comes on if you're playing if you're playing with these two forwards that are really hot right now and that are producing for you. If that doesn't work, then what's the plan B? I want to see that. Like, I want to see what Gattuso chooses and what he goes towards. Is he gonna, stick with the two forwards? And he's lucky that a guy like Keane can kind of play all over. Like, it's two forwards, yes, but if you kind of play that 4-3-3, you're adding that other winger. So in this case, it'd be a Politano. If it could be we saw Zaccagni in the first game, who, again, I know he kind of got a bit of shit for his game, but I didn't find him all too bad in the first game. A guy like Orsolini that can come on as well. Even though, again, I didn't find he really looked the best, if I'm being honest, when he came on. But again, what Nick said earlier, you take off, sorry, a guy like Retegui late in the game. You bring on Daniel Maldini. That's not the sub that I want to. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Daniel Maldini, sure, but it doesn't really push the needle for me coming off the bench. We need a killer, and you bring on Daniel Maldini, who's more of an attacking midfielder, if you want to call it that, maybe a winger, if you want. He's not really a true striker, so that's the only thing that I'm kind of keeping in the back burner. Want to see what happens, the if. But like you guys kind of teed it up there, these guys they're in form, they're playing well, they have the hot foot, if you will, and they're scoring. And us Italians, we can't. What are we gonna say? We've been waiting for a striker for how long now? After what, the Balotelli era there, who have we had? Immobile, Chiro, yes, but again, it took some fucking some pushing and shoving for him to get going. A guy like Boatti too, he had his moments, but let's see if these guys are the next two. Personally, I think Keane is more confident. You see it. You see it when he plays. He's a more confident player. I think he's found a bit of a home at Fiorentina that's helped him grow for sure. So listen, if it keeps on going, I say continue with it. Like I said, I like the fluidity with it. That because in my eyes, Reteghi's a true nine. I think Keane is a nine as well. But like, if you think prototypical number nine, I look towards maybe a bit more like a guy like Reteghi. But Keane can also play that role, but he's so dynamic that he can play wherever he wants in the front line, and I think he can produce. He has the speed. They play off well with each other, and they've even said it in their tidbits of press conferences and whatever. They like to play with each other. And again, I wasn't sure if that was going to work. We hadn't really seen it. Gattuso put his faith in these two, and they're repaying that trust and that faith. But again, 2 games. It's small sample size. It's not enough. We need to win out. Who said it last week? I think Nick said it. We need to win out, right, Nick? Like, guys, like, it's as simple as that. We need to win out, and if it takes playing these two forwards in addition to potentially a third, if it'd be a 4-3-3 of that other winger, again, whoever it might be on that right hand side or left hand side. So be it. What it be? I say, like you guys said, I say go for it. But yeah, I hope it continues. I don't know if it will, but I hope it continues because what burns me even more is those 2 own goals. Like, currently we're in second place with this win, right? 9 points. We're at +5 goal differential, if I'm not mistaken. 1 above Israel. Now 6 behind Norway, right? Those 2 goals, those two empty net goals, those 2 own goals. Sorry, they don't go their way, Israel's way. We're at +7. We're only 4 goals behind. So it's these small details, guys, that I think they need to iron out because Gattuso has said it. Uh, you know, we're playing well, we're doing well, but it's crazy how an Italy side like this allows these incredible goals from the opposition at such ease. At such ease. We're basically allowing them to show out against us, which is the thing I think they need to really work on. And I kind of wanted to maybe circle back to, we spoke about the attack. I kind of want to maybe circle back to the defense quickly after, but I'll let you go, Nick. I think you had something to add in there.